All right, it's Bill here, and here's my thoughts on the 3-2 victory for the Toronto Maple Leafs over the Florida Panthers, which gives them an edge, although Tampa Bay Lightning seem to be the hottest team of all of them, for the first place in the division and the chance to either play the Ottawa Senators, Columbus Blue Jackets, Montreal Canadiens, whoever finishes in the wild card spot. First of all, they had this game about 3 or 4 weeks ago. They had a chance. They had no Marchand. They had no Kachuk. They had no Ekblad. And honestly, the Leafs played a bad game. They had, this time, you have no Ekblad. You have no Kachuk. And just before the game, you find out you have no Barkov. You have to think in your mind, you've got to win this game. And not only do you have to win this game, your best players have to show up. In the first period, Matthews showed up. I thought Mitchie Boitano was out to lunch, hiding in plays, but Mitchie showed up later. I thought Nylander looked pretty decent. Janete! Although I wouldn't put him as one of our best players. Showed up. The defense, for the most part, I'll call them out. Benoit, Ekman Larson, Tanev, and McCabe had a really good game. Stolars had a great game. Our best players showed up, and they got the win 3-2. So, positive for you fan. You'd be surprised. I want the Leafs to win. I want them to win the cup. There's the shirts, losers since 67, once before I die. Whatever the shirt is, trust me, I want the Leafs to win. I wanted them to win tonight. And I thought the first period, they played really great at the beginning, and Bobrovsky made some big, big saves. And then the second period started. And then it started to slip and go downhill. It started with the first shift of the second period. Our number one line, now I think they put Matthews and Marner to kill the penalty. Goodness gracious. I'm going to call something out. I'm a big Matthews fan. Stop him killing penalties. He was on for the power play goal in the third period. Matthews, no more penalty kill, okay? No more. So you get Matthews and Marner at the end. They get stuck out on the ice, a long shift. And Marner, Mitchie Boitano goes for a skate. Maybe he thought there was a play going up and, maybe I saw Elvis Stoico's got a Rock'em Sock'em skate or whatever. It wouldn't be Rock'em Sock'em, that's Don Cherry. But he's got like a Rock Ice Stars, which I couldn't think of a worse show to go to. It's between that and watching Friends on TV. What's worse, an Elvis Stoico skate-a-thon or watching Friends episodes? It's a tough call. But I don't know what Boitano was doing, but he made the least amount of effort because he was on for a long shift, and the puck goes over to, I think it was Reinhardt who sets up Gosling. Let me see. I want to make sure I got it right. Forsling, Gosling. What am I thinking? Ryan Gosling or something. Okay. I'm at the lunch. Gustav Forsling, it was from Reinhardt. It just got caught on the ice. This is the stuff that kills the Leafs in the playoffs. These dumb mistakes, getting caught out. But I think the coach led to this. If I'm not mistaken, didn't we pay $2 million to David Kampf, who can't do much? But I was told he was a good penalty killer, by the way, a very bad penalty killer. Mitchie Boitano he's a good penalty killer. But didn't we just trade a first-round pick in Grabankin for Scotty Too Rotten? He can't kill a penalty. I thought we got him to kill penalties. Can't kill a penalty, save his life. So we get caught with Matthews and Marner, and it ends up being in the back of the net, and I thought, oh, no. And then from that point forward, I want to say it was 10 minutes of Florida beating the Leafs to every puck, and you're just going, this is not going well. There were a couple chances for the Leafs, but Bobrovsky was standing on his head. Nylander made a nice play. got robbed. Matthews had an opportunity, and you're just thinking, oh no, is this going to be? Bobrovsky stands on his head. Classic Leafs, can't score in a big game, and you're going to lose 2-1, 1-0. That was kind of going through my head at the time. And then Willie Nylander says, Johnny T! For a classic tip-in. I'm going to tell you something. Johnny T probably, actually Matthew Knies is very good at it too. But Johnny T with the tips, I don't think he's actually shot the puck in the net in the last little bit. He's tipping it like crazy. I'll give it to him. He goes to the net. He tips stuff in. I'm not a big fan of his skating. I'm not the big fan that Sam Bennett owned him tonight. But he tipped it in. And it was 1-1. Okay, here we go. But still, I thought Florida dominated that second period. There was a shift at the end of the period where they got caught with the Scotty Too Rotten, Max Domi, Mini Domi, and Kelly Yarncroc. I got to tell you something about Kelly Yarncroc, okay? I don't know what to think of him. I really don't. The man moves everything on his body when he's skating. I think his fingers start twirling. He's just jumping. He looks like he's working his butt off, and he's going nowhere. But he's looking great. Like, in terms of who looks like they're putting a lot of effort on the ice, Kelly Yarncroc for sure looks like he's working hard. He's just doing nothing. Nada. Zero. Well, they get caught on the ice, and then between... That's the I thought we traded a first-round pick and banking for someone who's going to shore up the third line. You're Scotty Too Rotten, report. 0, 0, 0, 0. Well, apparently he had one shot on net. Where'd that happen? In 12 minutes and 21 seconds of ice. And he was on the ice for the last 45 minute of that second period where I thought for sure Florida was scoring. Because there wasn't any defense being played, and there wasn't any... It was just going to be in the net, in the back of the net, and thank God we have Stolars. And we get into the third period, tied 1-1. Okay, you're in the third period, it's 1-1. Let's go. And the Stars showed up. Michi Boitano, who I would suggest didn't have a great first two periods, had a beauty third period. Matthew Knies, big period. Matthew Knies was all over the ice, banging and mucking. I thought Matthews had a great game tonight. He was all over the ice. Now, granted, he didn't have to go against Barkov, so that gives you a little bit of chance. But I saw they put Bennett on him at one point. And then I saw they were trying to mix and match on the fourth line once Camp got hurt. Sign me up for the Who Cares channel. Anyways, great. They were actually having a cycle shift. Winning pucks on the boards. Matthews throwing guys on the ice. Nice. Using the body. Even Marner going in with a little bit of physical contact. He probably got caught on a rut when he was doing his triple axel. But he actually ran into someone. And then behind the net, Matthews gets the puck in a puck battle out to Marner, who rips it home. And it's 2-1 Leafs. And this happened, I don't know, it was like 12 minutes left in the game. I want to make sure. 10 minutes left in the game. And now can the Leafs hold it down? And for the most part, they did. But this is where I'm going to bring up something. I really liked, I said, Benoit, Ekman Larson, McCabe, and Tanev's game tonight. They made Tanev nearly freaking in front of our own net. I didn't know what that was about. But for the most part, great game. But the other two, Brandon Carlo and Morgan, really? Were awful. And every time they well, how much ice time did Really have tonight? My God, he was awful. He's a terrible... I don't even know what to say at this point. I would say, I'm not joking. Like, I'm really... he tried to jump in the play. There's no way that man threw a hit tonight. He got bumped off every puck. Morgan, really, no hits. Not a chance he threw a hit. He only got 19 minutes of ice time. What did Carlo get? Carlo got 18 minutes of ice time. McCabe, I hope he's not hurt after that. He wasn't Bobby Orr McCabe, but there was one shift where he went Bobby Orr McCabe and left Scotty T. Rotten at the blue line. And of course, Scotty T. Rotten, our defensive third line center, going to shore it up, got used and abused, and that nearly ended up in our net. Yeah, really. I'm sorry. You got to go to someone else. You got to go to another defenseman. Morgan really can't play hockey. He's awful. It's been enough. Like this year has been an absolute disgrace. The year before was a disgrace. You could argue the year before he was okay. Against teams like Florida, he's just getting killed. And Brandon Carl, they've tried everything. Labushkin, Shen, Tanev was supposed to play with him. No one can play with this guy because he can't play defense. So Brendan Carlo looked bad, but maybe he's looking bad because of really. There was a play in the first period where he made a pass that was atrocious. It wasn't even near the player. And then he did a big loop, and it ended up being a 2-on-1 against the. It just can't happen. You can't have this guy playing in a playoff game like this. We've learned. We've seen it. Watch Reilly's game tonight. It was really, really bad. And that's bad for Reilly. Anyways, the other four defensemen were awesome. But those two were terrible tonight. And then you throw in the third and fourth line. Anyways, 2-1. And then we get another beautiful pass from Michy Baitano. I have no idea. That was kind of a hope and a prayer to Matthew Nyes. And Matthew Nyes just a big boy, fights off the defenseman. And it goes off the post and Bobrovsky. And then you make it 3-1 with, 3 minutes left, you think? Or sorry, not 3 minutes left. It was like 5 minutes left. We got the penalty against us with 3 minutes left, yeah. And you're thinking, okay, 3-1, we can hold this down. And then a useless tool called Pontius Holmberg takes a stupid penalty. And before you know it, Sam Reinhart's ripping in the back of the net. It's 3-2, and now we're going to make it exciting. And yeah, they did make it exciting. They had some opportunities, but Stolarz was able to stand on his head. Now, I'm also going to call it something else. I saw the one ref, I don't know, he got dummied. He turned into, but a stupid play. He turns into a player. So it's Jake McCabe. I don't know if it was Francis Chiron or Brian Pochmera, but at the end of the game, okay, you've just called a penalty on Pontius Holmberg. And by the way, it was a penalty. Now, there was plenty of penalties in this game. Florida's definitely the best team at picking people. They picked all night. They got called for one of the picks, but okay, they pick all the time. They should get an interference call all the time. Just watch them play. But this was atrocious. At the end of the game, Sam Bennett slew-footed John Janete. He slew-footed him. It's not even close. He takes his foot and he slew-foots him, and Johnny T goes head back into the... This is what Sam Bennett does all the time. This is what Brad Marchand does all the time. Explain to me how the hell that wasn't a penalty. If you missed it, watch it. Tavares is sitting behind the net. The puck is going to be whistled, and there's a friggin' slew-foot. Now, Johnny T gets up and doesn't do anything about it. Doesn't even look like he had a conversation with him. And, of course, Bennett does the, I'm so sorry. He's a sleuth. How is that not a penalty? You just called Pontius Holmberg. You can call penalties on them. Slew-footing should be a suspendable game, or suspendable. Like, I wouldn't be shocked. Well, I would be shocked if the friggin' fine Sam Bennett. But that was a slew. They want to ban slew-foots in the game? Watch it. How was that not called? Francis Chiron or Brian Pocamara? Sounds like a goddamn pasta. Just disgusting. How's that not a penalty? Sam Bennett gets away with murder. I just went to Jamaica. There's a song I hate now. Murder, what a terrible song. But like, how's that not? That's this. How do they continuously get away with it? That, to me, watch it. That's suspendable. He sticks his foot out and slew-foots Johnny T. No penalty, and I was steaming Willie Beeman at that point because I'm saying they're going to score, and I'm going to sit there and steam in this. Disgusting refereeing. Why? How in the world did they get away with? They didn't call the Brad Marchand, the Boston Bruin, and tuck the neck back. I saw they didn't call that one. Man, oh man. Anyways, the Leafs win. It's great news. What are the standings now? I should check the standings live here. The Leafs now have a 3-point lead on Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay's got a game in hand, and they play Ottawa. And Florida, they've got a 4-point lead on them now, with no games in hand. So basically, they're going to play Columbus. That's a must win. That's a big. You got to get that one, and then you got to at least. To me, you beat Tampa at least. You can lose to Florida now, but you need to get Tampa when they do the West Coast trip, or you try to get as many points you can, obviously. But Tampa's the one that's like on fire. Anyways, the Leafs win. Happy days. Again, I loved the 4 of our defensemen tonight. I loved the first 2 lines tonight. I hated the third line. And the fourth line didn't do anything other than Holmberg's stupid call and David Kampf looking like an idiot. But once he went out of the lineup and they were rotating Nylander and Matthews in, that line got better. But anyways, Saturday, they got another game. You gotta beat Columbus, right? Anyways, cheers.